Webheads, comic book fans, welcome to another episode of After the Poll. Fans, I'm Mike Spider Slayer, and welcome back to Comic Book Corner 2.0. This is the video series where I take 5 of my most highly anticipated comics and see if they live up to the hype. Now, this is not my definitive top 5. If you want to see a complete rundown, you can watch my video series called Worst to First, and that usually takes place on Sundays. So guys, let's get started with this week's episode. So coming in at number 5, we're going to kick it off with Hulk issue 8. This is the Banner of War finale. Now, I was a little bit hesitant about this issue just because it's been quite a while since we've seen one. And actually, issue 7 was my least favorite out of the bunch. We wound up getting Thor becoming a Hulk, and now you're going to have 2 Hulks battle it out with each other, and Hulk has possession of Mjolnir. And you know what? Was it big, action, heavy type of book? Yeah, absolutely. Was the artwork pretty cool? Yeah, absolutely. But what did this accomplish? Really nothing. I mean, was it fun to read? Yeah, it kind of reminds you of old school comic books where there was just big battling and big action and whatnot. But when it comes to a story perspective, this was a very predictable issue, as yes, we would get to see Thor return back to his normal self. And the one thing that you do find out, though, is that Thor kind of lets Hulk go, and it's led to believe that Hulk is dead, so the Avengers cannot hunt him down anymore for what he did in El Paso, Texas. So at the end of the day, when you look at this book, if you're looking for some action, you're looking for some fun, yeah, that's all that this really had to offer. Not much in depth when it came to storytelling, but we'll see where Hulk goes from here. Coming in at number 4, we have Nightwing. This is issue 95, written by Tom Taylor. I feel like this story is a little bit too decompressed. I feel like there's not enough plot progression in it. However, when it comes to Dick Grayson himself, he's very compassionate. I love the team-ups in this book. I love the relationships in this book. The artwork is phenomenal. It's just a little bit too decompressed for me. So let's talk about this story here. So in this issue, right from the start, you wind up getting to see some pretty big battle here between Blockbuster and Nightwing. I love the beginning of this book. And then you get to see some of the ramifications that happen because of the corrupted police officers and whatnot, which I also thought was kind of interesting in this book. Then you get somewhat of an awkward moment here between Batwoman and Maggie Sawyer. As you once know what their relationship was with each other, they were supposed to get married and they didn't. But we get to see this team up forming up between Maggie Sawyer, Batwoman, the rest of the Batman team or Bat team in order to try to take down Blockbuster, because we have Dick Grayson's sister who has enough dirt on him to take him down. So what we do get is, like I said, we get the Teen Titans, we get the Bat family, and they're trying to take out all of Blockbuster's operations. And at the end of the day, you wind up seeing Blockbuster getting super pissed off. He says, that's it. This is my city. I'm going to take in control of it. And he starts freaking launching his bazooka at buildings, taking innocent children in his hands. And him and Nightwing wind up doing a battle against each other, and knocks off his little mask. And he's just like, Dick Grayson? And next, there's no more secrets. And that's what happens. So does a lot happen in this book? No, like usual, but still, it's very entertaining. Like, I love reading the book. I just want more from it. And when there are action scenes, they are so gorgeous to look at. And I did like the character moments. These are all the things I pointed out earlier. I just want more of it, right? So if you haven't read Nightwing yet, I'm probably saying you got to go back all the way to, what is it, issue 80? So I would just say, wait for a trade on this. Next, coming in at number 3, we have World's Finest issue 6. Now, this is my least favorite book out of the bunch when it's come to the World's Finest issues. However, this is still a really solid read. It's just a much more simplistic book that takes place in a simplistic time, and this book really focuses around Dick Grayson in this issue. So let's take a look at it. Here's some of the interior artwork. This is the ramifications basically of them dealing with the Devil Neza. I think that was the way you called him. And Robin got misplaced in time. The funny thing is he found his way into a circus, which reminds him of, you know, his days when his parents were acrobats and he was part of this circus. So he found himself a family there and a connection there. And the cool thing about this book is that there was a lot of great detective work. So again, it reminds you of a much more simplistic time when it comes to these characters. And that's what I appreciate from Mark Waid in this series. Batman's a lot lighter, Superman's a lot lighter, and all these characters, they get along with each other really well. So you see Robin, who leaves a mark for the other Justice League members, or basically Batman and Superman, to come after him and meet him at this circus, and they have to do this detective work on finding out why animals are killing other humans. Well, really, it was just a grand scheme and a setup blaming animals so these people that are in charge of this circus can reap the rewards or the benefits and the money of the circus. So I thought it was pretty cool, man. Again, not my favorite issue, maybe because it didn't have a really bad, bad guy in it or whatnot, but this was a great book, and again, it captures a more lighter side when it comes to the DC universe. So if you have not read any of these DC World's Finest books yet, I definitely say go out and pick them up. They are a blast, and Dan Mora's artwork is absolutely gorgeous. Coming in at number 2, we have Edge of SpiderVerse issue 2. Now, guys, don't pass this book up. This one is a good one. If you're tired of all the spider characters, I felt like this one was written really well. Issue 1 was a good book with a bunch of spider characters, but it didn't really lead into the main story at all. In this book, we get the introduction of Spider UK, which is a new character, and we get the introduction of the main person in here, the bad guy that's going to be setting everything up when it comes to this version of Edge of Spider-Verse, by the name of Shathra. She is a wasp-like creature character, and she basically kills spiders, and you get to see that in this issue on her creation of her infection of the current web of life, right? So as we open up this book, the writer of this Spider UK, by the name of Ramazi, I think that's how you say the last name, was really well done. It really got you into the character in the short amount of time that they had to write this story. So in the beginning, though, you get what you've always been getting. It's these short stories, and the first one was Spider-Gwen, or Ghost Spider, whatever you want to call her, where she's just doing a gig with the other girls. You wind up getting Mysterio coming in, trying to ruin the day. Ghost Spider saves the day, and the only panel that I get out of it was these two panels, because you get this mysterious wasp, and it basically stings her in the neck. What does that do? Well, by the time you get to the end of this issue, you're going to find that out, right? But this was the only thing that I got out of significance, because I knew this had something to do with it. But besides that, it was basically all filler. The story that you really want to read is the next 2 stories. You got the Earth 834. It takes place in the city of London, and you get introduced to our newest Spider UK, and she is a great character. She's a firecracker. I love her. Her name is Zarina. Right? She celebrates Ramadan, so what happens is she can't eat anything. She has to fast for, I think it's 16 hours, and she's forced to go out into an adventure. She's a fun-loving character. She loves to play video games. She works for the Division of Who, which is the weird happening organization where they investigate supernatural stuff. It's pretty cool, man. And they have to do this battle against this mutant-like dragon that spits out this green goo that affects human beings, and they become little dragons. So in this short amount of time, the writer had to really go out of their way and give you a little bit of everything of what this version of the Spider UK character can do, right? So you get to see where her webbing comes from, how she can do this balloon effect, how she can, electrocute everything. Like, it's kind of cool, man. I really dug this story on what she can and can't do. And then by the time you wind up getting to the end of her little tale here, and she heals all the people from being these mutant dragons, she winds up getting called into battle by Madam Web, saying that the web of life is in danger and you need to come with me right now. And she's like, oh, okay. And I loved it, man. I love this character. And the way she's written here really gives the character some legs. It builds her up and gets people excited about a new Spider character, almost kind of like how Spider-Gwen was when she was first introduced. Now, I know Gwen Stacy's been around a long time, and when you mixed her up with a spider, right, that was the amazement of the character. But this is kind of a fresh new take on Spider UK. I really liked it, man. So I say go out and read this one for sure. Now, in the third story, we wind up going to Earth 1, and we wind up seeing Annie Mae Parker, which is kind of cool. And we wind up going back to the original days of when the Web of Life was created. And we get to see these gods, and we get to see Shathra, who was the original creator of the Web of Life, but she is a wasp creator, so she was making this wasp hive, right? So you get to see that right here, and it was kind of like horrific looking, and people were making fun of her, and so they gave the duty to the younger sister to create the Web of Life. So here's how you get to see the origin of everything. The older sister, was definitely jealous of everything because they were making fun of her. And then what happens is she goes into her wasp-like form and she says, I'm going to destroy the Web of Life here. And you get to see her infect the web, and that's how everything gets started. And we find out that she saw that Annie Mae was peeking in on her, and she winds up converting her into one of her cronies. Now, what she reminds me of is Swarm. That's exactly what she reminds me of, because you get to see Swarm, which is like a bee or wasp-like character itself, and it infects others, and they become part of the hive. So this is what she is doing with all the spider-like characters. So that was pretty cool. And then you get a little thing of the mini Marvels, and how Spider UK, the original guy, gets booted out because he got infected by Shathra, and we get the new Spider UK right here. So this book was actually really good. I really enjoyed the storytelling of Spider UK, and I definitely recommend this one. This could be a spec book in the future, so we'll see. Before we continue, guys, I just want to take a quick moment to remind you guys of the live stream that is happening on Tuesday nights at 10:15 p.m. Eastern Time. Guys, it is called Comic Book Weekly. That's when I get together with my friends, Kat and Brant. All three of us are going to be back together again this Tuesday, where we talk about, yes, the big comic books of the week, our top 5, the comic books worth of news. We take your questions and comments live, guys. Hopefully you'll be there again, 10:15 p.m. Eastern Time. Coming in at number 1 as of right now, guys, this one goes to Barbaric, Axe to the Grind, issue 1. Guys, when I first read this book, I was like, wow, I totally forgot how good this series actually is. So I'm so happy I got a chance to pick it up, and I recommend you guys too. This was a phenomenal book. Look at the cover here as we get to see our sorceress by the name of Soren, who is sitting on a giant's head where she's wringing out her clothes filled with blood, and you get to see all the tattoos. What a phenomenal looking cover. Let's open up this book, guys. This is from Volt Comics. Here we get to see our main character by the name of Owen. He's this cursed barbarian who is forced to carry this axe that lusts for blood. He always has to carry this axe no matter what, and it talks to him. It's by his side no matter what. That's kind of like his curse, and he has to battle all these bad guys for like ever and ever. Next, we wind up getting this character by the name of Steel, where in the beginning of this book, they're doing battle against vampires, and they're trying to take out the head vampire himself. So Steel is no longer cursed of being a vampire and being under Dracula's control. Now, in this issue, you wind up getting to see Sorin herself. It's another character they picked up along the way in the Lost Volume. They're doing battle against giant vampires. It is so funny, or vampire giants. And you get to see this action that takes place. Now, this book is very gory. This is almost like an explicit Thor character, right? That's what I get out of this book. It's so funny. The axe is like Mjolnir, but it talks, right? Owen, it just doesn't filter himself. He just says whatever he wants, which is awesome. So you get to see this battle take place, and you do get to see our heroes here win the battle over the vampire. However, Steel doesn't get released from the vampirism. He's still a vampire. He's just not under Dracula's control. Once we get done with this introductory part of the story and get used to who the characters are, what happens in this book, you wind up finding out that there's a main nemesis in this book by the name of Gladius. He has history with Owen and Steel, both the characters here, right? And they have to do battle against this guy because they both were part of his army at one time, and some of the things that Gladius did was unforgivable, and these guys could never forget that. So they want revenge. They want to go after and kill him. And so you will find out that they go on this little boat trip, and you get to see this big Kraken makes its appearance. I mean, this book is so epic, man. You see the big Kraken make its appearance here, trying to go eat the boat. And you're just trying to find out how our heroes are going to take on and battle this thing. And we wind up finding out that Steel is he's hesitating and being the warrior that he once was because he was under the manipulation of Dracula for over 80 years, almost a century. And that's right away some good character growth right there, because we have to see how Owen Johnson's going to handle this situation when they have to try to defeat this character that was, in battle with them, or they have this, this vendetta against for years and years. So yeah, really great story, man. This is a book that you should read. You're going to love the action, you're going to love the characters, and you're going to laugh out loud, and that makes for a complete comic book. All right, guys, so like I said, will that hold up as number one? Well, we're going to find out in time. Like I said, tune in to Sundays where I do my worst to first. I still got Daredevil, issue 650. I have Firepower, issue 23. Iron Cat, issue 3. All of these books can overtake this top 5. Ms. Marvel and Moon Knight, issue 1. True Kilt, is that what it was? IDW, issue 1. We have the X-Men Judgment Day tie-in, issue 13. The Last Shadowhawk, issue 1. We have Strange, issue 5. And digitally, I'm going to read Do a Powerbomb, issue 3. And Silver Coin, issue 13. So guys, there you have it. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, I appreciate it. If you subscribe to the channel, thumbs up. Hit that notification bell. I'll leave you more content right here to click on. And of course, guys, as always, keep buying, keep collecting. But remember, always read those comics. Guys, take care. I'll see you real soon. Bye.